In your opinion, how do you the system of aid for a student in a higher education try to favorize the equity, please?
Well, in some ways we do a good job on equity. We provide a lot of need-based financial aid. We've narrowed the gaps between rich and poor through provision of financial aid and other measures. And in other ways we're not doing very well on the equity side. Some of the aid programs are not that well targeted on the poor. In some of our programs, middle income students can qualify if they go to higher priced institutions. So I'd give us a middle grade on equity.
How efficient is the current system of aid for a student in a higher education in your country?
Again, it's a mixed answer. We do a pretty good job of providing an education in many institutions at relatively low cost. Our community colleges, which is a uniquely American institution, provide millions of students with opportunity at a relatively low cost to themselves, and also a relatively low cost of providing it. On the other hand, the United States as a whole has one of the highest expenses per student in post-secondary education in the world. On average, it costs about $24,000 per student. So that's about 18,000 euros per student. It's a lot. So that's not very efficient.
Which is the current tendency of the aid for a student in your country?
Well, there's a lot of debate as to where people think the system should go. A commission appointed by the Secretary of Education recently reported and called the aid system dysfunctional, that it's not doing a very good job at all, and called for a really new structure. Some of us agree with that. I characterize it that the system's not a system at all, and it's really more a set of policies that often work at cross purposes to each other. But there are many who think that the system is working fine, and the only thing that's really needed is more money. So it's a debate that we're having.
What kind of advantage and deficiencies do higher education law have in the aid system for a student in the USA?
Well, the strength of the system is that millions of students have benefited from it. It's been around for a long time. It's a permanent part of the structure of financing in the United States, and there's a lot of commitment on the part of policymakers to make it work and to help use it to improve access. On the other hand, there are many inefficiencies about it, in ways it doesn't work very well. It doesn't do a very good job of targeting money on the poor. Lenders in the student loan programs get a lot of profit from the system. Again, it's a mixed answer, I'm afraid to say.
Do you think the system of aid for a student in higher education encourage the competition between universities?
Well, you won't be surprised to have me say it's a mixed answer. In many ways, it does encourage competition. For example, students applying to different schools basically face the same price wherever they go, because the financial aid system is intended to equalize that. And so essentially students are in the marketplace without having to worry about price as a major consideration. And the institutions are intensely competitive in that sense. On the other hand, it's very hard for a a middling institution to move into becoming an elite institution because of barriers to entry and other obstacles. So in some sense the competition certainly isn't perfect. Another measure of the competition being high is that there's tremendous mobility among students. Students from the East Coast will often go to institutions on the West Coast, and so there's a lot of ability to choose your institution. So that would be, to the extent that we have a high level of choice for students, one could say there's a high level of competition.